welcome to AviGaming. So today we're going to discuss my favorite games from 2015. I did this kind of video last year and I really enjoyed it, so I wanted to do it again this year. But this year I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to have my top 5 games of the year, plus some honorable mentions, as well as some category specific picks. So we're going to start it off with my top 5 of this year. Now keep in mind these are all just my opinions. I based it off what I played the most this year, plus what I thought I enjoyed the most. Alright, so let's get right into it. So my number 5 this year is Splatoon. Hands down my favorite new Nintendo IP of this year. Nintendo has this thing where they like to re-release their top titles again and again. Splatoon was something so different for them, but still very much in the Nintendo style. It's a multiplayer shooter with a cute twist. I actually have a couple of the amiibos right here. So you play as little squid people, you can be a boy or a girl. These amiibos can actually work within the game. The matches are super fast-paced and fun, and Splatoon won Multiplayer Game of the Year at the Game Awards, beating out Destiny and Call of Duty. No one saw that one coming. But it was well-deserved. Splatoon is an amazing game, and my only regret is that I haven't played it enough. Going on to my number 4 pick, it's Soma. I'm actually doing a playthrough of Soma on my channel. It's a fantastic horror game by the studio that made Amnesia. Though I have not completed Soma, and for that reason I was a little iffy to put it on my list, and even with it being uncompleted on my channel, I still believe that it's the best horror game of this year. And you guys know me, I had to put a horror game on my list. It's one of my favorite genres. It's pretty impressive that I like it so much, considering it's one of those games where you hide and sneak instead of killing. That's not my favorite style horror game, but Soma still does it right. So number 3, I do believe this is probably the one that's going to upset people the most. I had to put it on the list not only because the series is dear to my heart, but because I've put so many hours into it. My number 3 is Gears of War Ultimate. Now hear me out before you rage at me that Gears of War Ultimate does not deserve to be on the list. As a person who's played Gears 1, 2, 3, and even Judgment, the black sheep of the family, naturally I had to get Ultimate. Gears of War Ultimate was meant to be kind of a remake of the Gears of War multiplayer, with heavy influences from Gears of War 1, but still a little bit of the other ones mixed in, bringing a complete Gears of War Online experience to the Xbox One. Also, this game was not created by Epic Games, it was created by Black Tusk, who later changed their name to the Coalition. The game also includes the full campaign of Gears of War 1, including the bonus bit from the PC. The game as a whole was a letdown for a lot of people. I had some gripes myself. When I heard Gears of War Ultimate, I assumed it was going to be like the Master Chief Collection, having all the campaigns and all the multiplayers in one spot. That wasn't the case. Had it been the case, it might have been higher on my list, but it still brought back the old school love of the multiplayer that I miss so much. So I played through the campaign again, beating everything on Insane, and then I played, I think about 700-800 matches so far and online, and they have fun game modes that they added, such as 2v2 Nasher Execution, which I'm obsessed with. I just wish they would add more maps because boxes gets highly annoying after you've played it like 500 times in a row. I love that they took out a lot of the heavy weapons, because in my opinion when you add too many explosives in a game like Gears of War, it kind of takes away the fun. I like keeping it simple with the Lancers and the Nashers. That's the heart of Gears of War to me. And as a person who named their cat Carmine, I just had to put Gears on my list. Again, this one might be debated, but my number 2 is actually Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Now, I am no hardcore Assassin's Creed fan. I played the first one, a bit of the second one, and then I lost my desire to play that entire series. Seeing disasters like Unity made me just want to stay away even more. But then they announced Syndicate, which had a female playable assassin, and the game was set in a Victorian setting. So those two things really got me interested. And after seeing gameplay and reviews, I decided to get it. And I'm so glad I got it. That game is amazing. The story was on point, the characters and the voice acting were amazing. And after sinking 40 hours into the game and finally beating it, I was left with wanting more. So I actually bought the DLC, which I barely ever do these days. I love the game so much that I went out and bought the art book. The problem for me with the Assassin's Creed series is they were pumping them out like it was a Call of Duty. But this one, Syndicate, feels like they put their heart into. Just roaming the cities was amazing. The grappling hook made you feel like kind of an old era Spider-Man. You could just go from building to building. The character customization and leveling up was awesome, and I can honestly say I have no complaints for Assassin's Creed Syndicate. So it's time to announce my game of the year. Now this one was a bit of a shocker because I am not a fan of the series. I didn't even plan to buy it. After seeing the reviews and hearing what my friends had to say, I decided to get it, and that game is Fallout 4. Back in the day I played 3, but I just really wasn't feeling it after a few hours of playing. Never played any of the previous, and just had no interest. That kind of setting, that kind of story wasn't really grabbing me. So I got Fallout 4. I played it for probably, I want to say, 8 hours before I started to like it. Then probably about 20 hours in, I started to actually play the main story. and I went through and did story mission after story mission after story mission to see how the story would go. And that game left me feeling morally conflicted. Like, I sat there for an hour deciding, what did I want to do? It's pretty impressive that that game pulled such emotion out of me. I didn't cry or anything like that, but the game definitely made me feel upset at certain points when the story was unfolding, like actually upset. There was a lot of talk of game-breaking glitches. I found some funny glitches here and there. There was a glitch where Dance was like swimming in the air. That was a bit weird. My save file did get corrupted a few times, but I had multiple save files, so nothing was lost. Overall, I didn't have too big of a problem with the glitchiness. The story is what makes Fallout so amazing to me. That's why I put it at my number 1, because of how much emotion it invoked in me. I think at the Game Awards, Troy Baker said something along these lines. If gameplay is the needle, then story is the thread. I believe that's what I said. I might be mixing it up, but that's so true. Gameplay matters a lot, but story is what really grabs you. So those are my top 5 games of 2015. Let me know in the comments down below what your top 5 were. So I do want to get into some honorable mentions. The first one is Life is Strange. I played a couple of the episodes, but I haven't finished it yet, so I wanted to put it on there because it does look like an amazing game. I haven't completed it. I want to get around to it. It's one of those games that's on my list to do. Next is Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I do believe I'm 12 hours in. Haven't had time to finish that one yet. Amazing so far. Needed to mention this game, absolutely needed to. As a big fan of Lara Croft in the Tomb Raider series, that's a must play for me. And next is Destiny's The Taken King expansion. Now I understand that it's just an expansion, but that is when I bought the game. And it's a pretty fun expansion. I also have a couple specific kind of genres I want to make note of, such as my favorite mod of this year, which was Portal Stories Melt. Again, haven't finished it, need to finish it. So many games to play and just not enough time in the day. So far I've been loving it. It's an amazing top tier mod. If you haven't played it, it's free on Steam, go check it out. My favorite indie of the year is Layers of Fear. I just recently played that on my channel. It's not even done, but it's so far like beyond what I expected it to be. That game is really creepy, messes with your head. It's demented and it's great. I love it. Try it out. It's on Steam. I have an iPhone 6 Plus, so I do play some mobile games when I'm just chilling. So the first one's called Lifeline. I think it's by like 5 Minute Studios or something like that. They made a choose your adventure game that's amazing. You should check that out. And they also just recently made a DLC called Silent Night for that same one that uses the same character carries over. So both of those I highly recommend if you're into choose your adventure games. And the next mobile game that I want to make note of that I've been playing constantly, it's called Game of Dice, which is all one word. And I believe it's based off an anime or something, but it's essentially a fast-paced Monopoly that you get to use cards and stuff and upgrade things, and I don't know. I love it. I'm addicted to it. Definitely wanted to mention it. And finally, my most anticipated games of 2016. I'm most looking forward to Mirror's Edge Catalyst, which is not a sequel of Mirror's Edge, it's actually a reboot of the series. Next is Gears of War 4, and even though Delta Team will not be in this new one since the trilogy is over, they're doing kind of a Mass Effect thing where it's going to be the same universe, new people, new story. I really do want to see what the Coalition has in store for the Gears of War universe. And speaking of Mass Effect, the new Mass Effect, I'm looking forward to that as well. And the same thing I said about Gears, I'm interested in seeing what they're going to do with the Mass Effect universe, now that all the people we know and love from the series are gone. The next one is Paragon, which is a newly announced game from Epic. It seems like a lot of companies are jumping on the bandwagon to make a MOBA these days, but I'm really excited to see Epic kind of jump outside their comfort zone and test the waters with something new. And the last 2 games I'm looking forward to, I would hope come out next year, but likely won't, is Final Fantasy VII the Remake. Technically it says it's coming out next year if you look up the date, but I feel like they're lying. They're gonna push that back. And Kingdom Hearts 3, which no one has any idea when that's coming out either. And with that, we're closing out 2015. I want to wish you all a very happy new year, and thank you for watching my channel. I'll see you next year. So today we're going to be unboxing a brand new crate from Japan Crate called Toki Doki. And it's supposed to have 8 to 10 different items of all things kawaii.